Hello girls and boys, and welcome to our final day of lockdown learning. We've got a really fun activity planned for you this morning. This one, you're going to be writing a story. How amazing is that? Now when I say writing, you don't have to write down this story. You can just create it and you can make a little video of it or an audio, maybe on mummy or daddy's phone if they're feeling very generous. Now when we start creating stories, we have to think of three really important parts. When I talk about these words in a minute, they'll be quite familiar to you because we'll have been discussing them this week. So the first word is setting. This is the part where your story is set. Now, our topic this week has been under the sea, and last week was under the sea too. So you've got lots of knowledge about what the sea is like. So our story is going to be set under the sea, but what's it going to be like under your sea? Is it going to be lovely, warm water? Is it going to be really cold water? Are you just going to set your story just under the surface of the sea, or are you going to be deep down at the bottom of the sea? Is it going to be the North Sea that surrounds our country? Or are you going to go to the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean? Have a think about where you might like to set your story. Once you've got your setting all clear in your head, you're going to think about the characters in your story. Who's going to be in your story? Are you going to have humans in there? Are there going to be mermaids? Might there be pirates? Do you think you might have some under the sea creatures in your story? They can all form the characters for your story. The third and final thing that you need to think about with your story is an exciting event. Which exciting event is going to happen in your story? Would it be you meeting a mermaid? Would it be the pirates attacking? Might there be a shark in your story and might something happen? Every story needs a really exciting event. So let's just recap the things that you will need to put into your story. You'll need to have a setting where your story is set. You will need to have characters. They might be humans, they might be made up characters, they might be sea creatures. And third and finally, you need an exciting event. Now, girls and boys, you don't have to write this story out if you don't want to. You can just record it. Now, lots of you over lockdown have done the most amazing little videos, and we've loved sharing them on Teams and being able to comment on them ourselves, and your friends have often commented too. So hopefully you can use a phone and do a lovely recording of your under the sea story. Now, to give you a little bit of a taster, Mrs. Webster has already done one for you. So I'm going to hand over to her now, and she's going to tell you all about her under the sea story. Have fun. We can't wait to see what you create. Bye.
So today you are going to record your story either as a video or as an audio book. And you're going to use your plan from yesterday. So I'm going to give you my example. My plan from yesterday, my characters were a little boy octopus and a teacher octopus. Remember, she had glasses like me. The setting, so where the story happened, was under the sea in a school cave. And my exciting event was that the little boy on his first day of school, he met a girl octopus who was really keen and really excited and loved school so much. And they became best friends and had a really great time together. That is my story. And now I'm going to use that plan, use those ideas to turn it into an actual story to tell you right now. Now I've created my setting just here on the desk. I've got my under the sea, my cave, and some characters. Here's my little boy octopus. So if you wanted to, you could create your setting as well and tell the story with characters on your setting. Or you can just tell it straight to the camera like I'm going to do. Are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably? Once upon a time, there was a little boy octopus called Otto. Otto the octopus. He woke up feeling a bit sick, feeling a bit nervous, and he didn't really know why. He couldn't remember. And then suddenly it popped into his mind. It was his first day of school. Oh, he was a bit worried. What if he didn't make any friends? What if he didn't meet anyone? What if he had nobody to play with? At breakfast time, he could hardly eat the shrimp his mummy gave him to eat. And his mummy and daddy said, there, it's okay, Otto. You know you will be fine. So they very carefully held his hand. Actually, all of his hands. Daddy held 4 and Mummy held 4. And they walked Otto to school. When Otto got to school, he met somebody straight away. He met his teacher. She was a really nice lady octopus, although she had rather strange pointy glasses on, but she was very nice, and she made Otto feel very comfortable and very happy straight away. She took a couple of Otto's hands and led him into the classroom, which was in a cave. It was a cave classroom. And in went Otto, and he looked around. There was only one seat left. So he scuttled with his little 8 legs over to the seat and sat down. He looked next to him, and there was another octopus right next to him. Oh, he thought, I really hope this is a really nice octopus and we become friends. First of all, they had maths, and they had to count in 2s, which was great for Otto because he had the right number of legs, so he could count 2, 4, 6, 8, and he had a great time counting in 2s in maths. Next, it was English, and he is great at writing stories because he could put a pencil in every single hand, and he finished his story before any of the other under-the-sea creatures. In the afternoon, it was time for PE. Otto was a bit worried about PE. He didn't know what he was going to do, but luckily it was a scuttling race. And of course, with all his legs, he could scuttle really, really speedily. And off he scuttled along the ocean bed. That's when he noticed the little girl octopus who he'd been sitting next to earlier was also scuttling along with him. And what's more, she was smiling at him. He smiled back. Otto smiled back, and she said, "Hi, what's your name?" "Otto," he said. "My name's Otto. What's your name?" "My name's Octavia," she said. "Octavia the octopus, what a beautiful name," said Otto. "Shall we go back to the classroom together?" So off went Otto and Octavia back to the classroom, and they chatted and they shared stories and they shared ideas, and Octavia shared all her colouring pencils with Otto. Thankfully, she had enough for them each to have 8 colouring pencils for their art lesson later on that day. And at the end of the day, when Otto went home, he was able to tell his mummy and daddy octopus all about his fantastic day, about his maths lesson, counting in 2s, about his English lesson when he wrote quicker than anyone else, and about his amazing PE lesson when he met Octavia the octopus, his new best friend. And he went to bed that night and he slept beautifully. And when he woke up the next morning for school, he wasn't nervous. Nope, not one bit. Well, thank you very much, long-haired Mrs. Webster, for that fabulous story. Now, when I recorded that a few months ago, do you think I was reading it out of a book? Do you think I had planned that story in my head? No, not at all. I was making it up as I went along, using the story plan that I had written the day before. And that's what you're going to do, isn't it? So go and grab your story plans from yesterday with your characters, your setting, and your exciting event. Borrow somebody's iPad or phone, and you can record your story for me and Mrs. Bale either as a video or as an audiobook. And don't forget, you can email them to us, or if you'd like to share them with everybody, you can pop them on Teams for us all to enjoy. Have fun recording your stories. I can't wait to hear them. Bye.